Hey everybody, my name is Dr. Barbara Parks. I am an equine physical therapist and also a positive reinforcement trainer, and I am here today to teach you guys this little free mini class called Clicker Training 101 because I feel like the world needs this. So just give you guys a little background on me and my mindset and why I wanted to bring this to you guys, just to make sure we're all kind of on the same page and you guys understand where I'm coming from. But I started positive reinforcement training several years ago, partially because I had a really tricky mare who I wasn't having success with traditional training, but also because in my rehabilitation work with my physical therapy practice, I was struggling a little bit with some of the more forceful methods, and even with just using pressure and release with painful, scared horses who have been through trauma, who I'm trying to rehabilitate, physically, mentally, emotionally. Pressure and release was not doing it for me. And I could hold horses in a posture that looked better, but it wasn't always carrying over into like the rest of their lives. They didn't own that movement. And so that's kind of what pushed me to find something else. I had a really great friend. I was a client turned friend who does positive reinforcement with Mustangs, and she took them from feral to riding with all positive reinforcement, and that really showed to me just how powerful this is as a tool, that it really can be used to accomplish all the goals that I had, and that it was like a legitimate option for me. So once I kind of had that validation from her, I dove in 100%, because the difference here with positive reinforcement and why I find it so powerful and what I'm doing from a rehab perspective is I'm not making the horse do anything. I am teaching them how to do it. I'm giving them cues and options, but like ultimately I'm not holding them in anywhere. There's no forceful aspect behind it. So if I'm trying to alter the way they're moving, I'm teaching them how to do it with positive reinforcement training. I'm also now layering in repeated positive associations with this new and better way of moving, of carrying themselves, of doing all the various things. And now the horse owns that movement, and they use it when they go back out into the pasture, and now they're moving in a healthier way the other 23 hours of the day, not just when I'm working with them. It just became really, really powerful. And I also had this like thought when I first started physical therapy. I was like, man, I can ask my human patients to like go do 10 repetitions of this strength training exercise, but I can't do that with my horses, which is funny now because I can do that with clicker training. We can do forelimb abduction 10 times in a row in an exercise kind of a format with positive reinforcement training. And it just works so much differently than it did when I was working with pressure and release. And yes, you can do 10 reps with pressure and release too, but the communication there is just absolutely not the same. Again, the horse owns it. The horse is the one doing 110% of that, the mind telling the body what to do, rather than me saying, do that, like shift weight onto your outside leg. When I push you onto your outside leg, the horse, I have to push for them to do that. They're not just gonna do it on their own. But with positive reinforcement training, I can teach them shift weight onto your outside leg before you do this movement, and that external cue of me pushing them over does not have to be present. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. It's hard to like fit into words, you guys, but that's what I'm trying to say with the horse owning the movement. It becomes a part of their motor pattern because it's in their brain to body, rather than this external cue from me holding them in that better form. So anyways, I've started encouraging a lot of my clients to explore positive reinforcement training, especially my rehab clients. And we've got kind of a local group going, and I host things once a month at my farm where we do clicker training little play days. And that's really great from a local perspective, but I want to do more. Like, this just feels like this is the future of ethical horse training. It's such a powerful, positive tool. Like, the horses love it. It makes training so enjoyable for them, and we can do so much to benefit them by training in this way. And so I want to make this more accessible to people. I feel like I suggested a lot, and then people are looking online and all they can find are like $500 online courses to get them started. And they're not going to do it unless they're super already bought into it. They're like, that's not really worth it for me yet. There's no push for me to change really. So why would I invest all this money in something I'm not 100% sure I even want to use? So I want to like strip away that barrier to entry and get you guys started for $0. All you have to do is spend your time with me and learn a little bit and start experimenting with your horses and maybe buy a little bit of equipment. But honestly, you can find most of this stuff laying around your house and make do with free stuff until you decide you want to invest more into it. So I'm hoping by stripping away some of those barriers to entry, I can at least start educating you guys, especially my more skeptical friends, start educating you guys about the theory behind it, the thought process, how the initial steps work, and then where we can take it to motivate you to at least try and dabble a little bit and experiment and see what you think. And I think you guys are really gonna like it, because I hope you're really gonna like it, because that's how I felt when I first started. It was just very exciting because your horses are gonna do things and they're gonna learn so quickly, and it's gonna come so fast, and you're just gonna be so amazed with what your horses are capable of, like using their brains a little bit more rather than just blindly following your cues and your external forces that we as humans impose on them. Like, when we start having the horse become a problem solver, start having them think for themselves and be more of a partner with us rather than subservient to us, like really, really amazing things can happen. So I have totally rambled through this little welcome video, but I am just really excited that any of you have decided to be here with me to watch this, to try this, to get started. It just makes me very excited. I think it's just a really wonderful thing for horse welfare and the future of our industry. If any of you guys pay attention to modern equestrian sport, like, we got a lot of issues, y'all. Got a lot of issues, and if we don't clean up our act from the inside and treat our horses a little bit more ethically, then we could very easily like lose our social license to do what we do, because public perception is going to be so poor of what we're up to. So I see positive reinforcement as a big solution to this, as such a positive shift in the overall equine culture and world for the well-being of our horses. So thank you for being here. Thanks for listening to me ramble for like 8.5 minutes. It's ridiculous. But I'll see you guys as we dive into it.